podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com.
They came from the game table, dice bags in hand,
We have one brain that we share between us.
to talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you'll like it.
The original, then basic, then one they scoured,
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
to bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to Thaco's Hammer, the best damn AD&D second edition podcast ever.
And this guy just came out, and then I said thank you, and he said, congratulations. I just did my 1 year episode Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 1 year since I've been doing it, and so he sent me a thank you, and I said thank you back, and we're all friends and everything.
Aw.
Hi, folks. Old Nick Grognard here. Aww.
Take two.
That kind of thing.
Take two.
No, I was talking about how I.
Oh, that. Oh.
Yes, but we're all friends now. Oh boy.
How
Hiya,
cute.
folks. Thaco's Hammer. We're friends too, aren't we?
Well,
Aren't-
considering we've been doing this for 10 years, literally, I would
made
think
my
so.
hair go gray. You made my hair go gray. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
This is Splatbook 155, various and sundry XII.
12.
II.
Aye, Captain.
II, Captain. And I am DM Glen, of course, and this is DM Brian,
Hey, folks, what's going on out there?
and DM Full-On Gamer the Trucker.
Greetings, Gamer Nation! How are you doing today? We have a wonderful show for you, yes? I
Uh,
said yes!
Yes.
Yahoo? I don't know. You have good beer to me. Or something like that. I don't know. Let's go ahead and hit some crits.
Well?
One thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly.
So?
They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate!
Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
It's a crits. Fellas. That kind of sounds like the beginning of a rap song. I don't know why. But what you been doing?
Let's see. Not too much as far as I'm concerned. Working a lot. Been working on my conversion of against the cult of the reptile god, but I don't have a lot of time. I basically have maybe an hour or two, to work on it, and giving it the DM Brian treatment, if I dare say. It takes a little time because I actually take.
Me like
Oh.
rip off the cover and shoot the pages and spit them out like
Yeah.
what's on there.
Exactly. No, basically I take the box text that's in the module, and I have to sort of parse it down and put it into language that I would use. I mean, it's similar to what Douglas Niles wrote, but it's a little bit different. So doing that, and
I
then
believe this room is garbage. I'm going to write it from the floor up. There we go.
yeah,
The first
fortunately,
thing we got to do is put foam on all the sharp corners, surround all the tables,
yeah, no
give an
kidding.
intelligence stat with speaking parts to all the animals.
I do not do that.
You know? Well, here you go. What do you guys think? It's like, well, every box text you wrote, this is BS. Just tell them what you want.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's just using all of those. It's just basically doing that, and then redoing the stats, and then actually doing personnel. I mean, I just am wrapping up the village, and the village is interesting because you've got cult members, you got people who aren't cult members yet, and you've got people who are actually looking into what's going on in the village. So, you got to make sure to write down, or at least in my opinion, you got to make sure to write down motivations and what they are trying to do, and and how the party interacts with them. Like, if the party does this, then they do this. If the party does that, then they do that. That kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And it's just slow going because my inspiration has not struck very often. When it does, I get a lot of stuff done. When it doesn't, it'll sit for a month. So, like I said, slow going. Aside from that, of just recovering from hyperextending my knee in my sleep. Yeah. Yeah, basically it's sublexed, which means my leg basically bent the way it's not supposed to bend and basically messed up a couple of tendons in the back of my knee.
Ugh.
So, yeah, a lot of ice, a lot of heat, a lot of ibuprofen, a lot of Tylenol, a lot of rest, and, had to take a day off of work, in order to be able to walk correctly, but at least now I can walk without too much discomfort. So I'll
You
be
know,
going back to work tomorrow.
I may broken shoulder aside at the con a few years
Oh,
ago.
oh
My
man, I remember that. That was terrible.
It was, yeah, but all I did was like nick a part of a bone on my shoulder, and that was it.
Yeah,
Because I have bones of steel, but
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 the
I've had a lot of like sprained turned ankles and contusions of muscles in
hmm
my past.
hmm
So it's not like I get off scot-free.
no, yeah,
I've turned my feet and my ankles a lot.
yes, I have too, to the point where my feet actually point more inward than outward because I've rolled my ankles so many times ever since I was like, God, 6 years old. And
I'll
I'm
have to
50 now, so yeah.
I- I'll have to tell you a horror story of when I was living in San Jose and I turned my ankle so hard I was on crutches for 3 days.
Ugh, yeah, yeah, turning your ankles is not fun. At least you didn't
Oh,
break it.
yeah, like I said, bones of steel, but everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything else is made of foam rubber. I get it.
pretty much. What about you, Full On? What's up?
I have relocated or started the process of relocating into my new Casa del Gamer Nation
Yay!
and backed the Kickstarter for Grimmer Space so I can have my Starfinder horror fix get in.
I guess if I go visit you, I would have to play that, right? Okay.
Potentially, yeah. Bring yourself a little bit
Potentially.
of horror House on the Hill as well.
I know, it's just space.
Nothing wrong with space.
Pathfinder derivative.
Easy.
Can I bring my copy of White Star?
Well, he could always break out his you could always break out Star Wars D20 and go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or just or
considering
just
he was
gra-
part of the development team, so to speak.
uh, okay, you don't want to play Grimmer Space. Fine. Here's my 2 ebooks. Let's go down the murder hole.
I can hook you up with that as well in 2 or 3 each.
Oh, he's got different flavors. Great.
Uh,
Different flavors of various methods of dying,
I
various methods of death. Okay.
oh man, don't talk.
Well, I have this idea for an adventure. You see, I've got a kick watching A Million Ways to Die in the West. Now I'm going to make an adventure called A Million Ways to Die in the Dungeon. Then A Million Ways to Die in the Village. You can use that as inspiration for getting all the personalities and motivationals of your villagers together for your new adventure, can't you, Brian?
Yeah, you certainly could.
I think the village does quite a good job of killing people already.
Depending. Well, no, villages
Ask
no.
number 6.
Ta-
Ask number 6.
well, then there's that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, yeah. Towns, perhaps. Cities, definitely. Villages, it's a little. It can be a little. Yeah. All depends on comparative levels. Because if you've got murder hobos, or at least one person who wants to go murder hobo, then yeah, it can derail an adventure real fast.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So, what's going on
Yeah,
with me?
what is going on with you? It's been
Well,
a while.
for one, Radio Grognard just passed its 1-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Friday was my 365th show.
Wow.
So, and thank you. And I'm looking forward to another year of it if I can keep my brain going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of killer stuff.
Yes.
I am in a deadly version of First Edition right now. Oh, the Monday game's going well. Astonishing Sword has been a lot of fun. But Matt Evans, he of Mythic Arthur, decided to take a break because like 1 or 2 of our group is missing for a little while. And so he pulled out his Rule Cyclopedia.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but he said, I'm playing by the book D&D and we're not going to use this book.
Aw.
He pulled out the black box, new and improved, easy to master D&D. Remember the old one that was like, he said, he pulled the rule book out of there. We're using this, which is even more cut down than the rule cycle. I mean, it's like, what kind of armor you got? Bandit? It's not in the book. You can't use it. I said, what do you mean it's not in the book? I looked at the rules. No, this book. I said, they only have 3 types of armor in there? What kind of BS is this? And he's like, and he kept shoving it in my face. He says, this is your favorite version of D&D. I'm running it by the book. 3d6 straight down.
Why be such a prick about it? But then again, this is Matt.
I said, okay, I'll play along. I mean, I've lost 4 characters already, but and the last time it's like, oh shit, I lost another character in the middle of the game, and it's like 5 minutes later I was ready with a new. I said, hell, it really works. I can't do one in 5 minutes. And he's making a big deal about encumbrance and movement.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you already.
That can be an issue.
Yes, definite issue. Yes.
I mean, I don't care how far I can move. I really don't. I care about counting the frickin' encumbrance.
Yeah.
He says, but that's by the book. We have to do it by the book. He said, and he turned to me at one point and goes, that's what Gary would have done. I said, no, that's what you would have done. I say, you're just a junior Tim Kask. Okay. Get that. So I went into my Dragon PDFs and pulled out the different totes for different folks, basic backpacks for every D&D game adventure, and I'm going to shove that in his face and say, you want to worry about encumbrance? Good. I'm using this. Okay,
oh boy.
I'm playing a cleric. I'm taking the cleric pack. There's the gold piece cost, the encumbrance right there. I'm not doing frickin' math in the middle of the game. I'm sorry. I mean, this kind of math,
Yeah, I get
Plus, minuses, but I'm not going to sit there and calculate every single frickin' piece of weight on my person, because I know when I go to battle, I'm dropping most of that, taking my weapon and going.
Mm-hmm.
But even wearing whatever armor I'm wearing and carrying a weapon will cut down it's like, okay, I'm playing a thief. I got a short sword and leather armor. Yeah, but you don't get 40, you get 30. It's like, come on.
Well, you're going along with it, Glenn.
Leather
what
armor,
short
sword. Well, I can't exactly drop the group. Never thought I'd be well, it's interesting. It's like we've lost 4 or 5 characters to the same kobold ambush trying to get to where we need to be.
Does it still count as an ambush?
True.
I mean, unless everybody died and you had to remake the entire party to get through it, someone should be sitting there bleeding on a bar stool. There's these damn kobolds in the way.
Well, we have
on the trail.
Well,
at mile marker 5.
To be fair, we have not had a TPK. There's always at least one person who got back to get more people.
So it's not an ambush anymore. It's breaching an entrenched defender.
Yeah.
That's
with
terms you need to think of that approach in.
Yeah, well...
and no, they don't get surprise anymore.
Considering his previous exploits as a DM, I'm not exactly surprised by any of this.
Well, I did stuff like one character, I rolled 2 18s. I mean, I rolled 2 18s. Can I witness 2 18s? Unfortunately, it was Constitution and Charisma.
Oh, well.
Yeah, and that guy died by one axe blow by an orc, sliced him right in half. Oh, boy. Because he said, I'll give you max hit points at first level. That's all a concession I'm making.
Why?
Oh, thank you. If I get a really, I'll pray for a high con for a couple of more.
Okay.
But it's funny. One of the things that happened was I've been watching on YouTube a lot of this survivalist going out in the woods with a backpack type of videos by a guy named Dan from Cold Cracker Bushcraft, and I also watch Townsend and Son, which are recreationists, and they talk about cooking out in the field and all that. And the last time we played, I played this short fat elf, and I went out and he says, "What's your encumbrance?" I said, "Well, what are you using?" I just rattled off. Says, "Okay, I got a backpack, a bedroller, 50-footer rope, some oil, flint and steel, and a Dutch oven." I said, "Dutch oven? That's not on the equipment." I said, "I'm the cook." And he said, "Tell you what, Dutch oven doesn't weigh anything. I like it."
Wow.
Yeah, he says, "You're playing a short fat elf? Yeah, keep this guy alive." Of course, he died in 5 minutes, but what the hell? But hey, that's what I'm dealing with right now. What about you folks?
Yeah, for sure. Jeez.
And I'm going to try and whittle miniatures.
Which is, yeah, and he's shown us pictures of his work when it comes to dungeon walls, and it's interesting. I'll be very, very intrigued to see the final product when it comes to doing miniatures.
I'll also show you my bandaged hands.
Chainmail gloves, Glenn. It's what you're going to have to do.
I know. I've still got to get I got a decent knife and a little sharpener, but I still got to get some decent wood and some other things. So it's a process. So I might work. Who knows?
Let's hope so.
All right. What do we got for email? Anything?
Oh, yeah. We got emails. Okay. First one is from DM Alex.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. He's a semi-frequent emailer to our show. Okay, he says, Glenn, Brian, and Full On. Yeah, you know he's been listening if he doesn't include Corey in there, because it's been like 6 to 8 months since Corey's been on the show.
It was a year.
Oh,
thought it was
yeah. Well, yeah, Corey's got a lot of stuff going on, so yeah, I just leave him be for now. He says, "Hi guys, I've noticed a curious thing about descending armor class and the people who are new to the hobby versus people who have been playing for 10 to 15 years. I played with quite a few people who are new to the hobby in the last couple of years. I've always run 2E or basic and therefore use descending armor class. My new players will always be fine with this. I simply tell them that lower is better when it comes to armor. They say, okay, cool. However, with experienced gamers in my age group, that means people who started with 3rd edition or 3.5 will grumble and say that ascending is easier and that they don't understand Thaco. I find this rather odd. People who can navigate trees of feats, min-max their skill points, and understand all the intricacies of 3.5's combat system cannot figure out how to subtract. I think this is an artifact of all the 2E bashing that happened when we were younger. The idea that Thaco was hard to understand and broken was hammered into the heads of gamers of my generation when we were in high school, and it became gospel. I can't disagree with any of this. What do you guys think? Have you guys encountered any very smart 30-year-old men and women who can't figure out how to subtract? I'm not sure. Yeah, no kidding.
That includes me. You're adding negatives. It's easy.
I know.
Has been a problem.
Hold. I'm almost done. Last sentence. I'm not sure if WotC fostered the 2E bashing in my youth, but I do remember people making fun of the system quite a bit when I was in my teens. Thanks, Alex. P.S. Can you believe it's been almost 20 years since 3rd edition came out and 10 since they stopped printing it? Is 3E old school now? I mean, it's almost as old as 2E was when you started this podcast. Maybe Full On should start a 3E podcast. I don't think there are any out there. Oh, I think there are, actually. And it seems like it's mostly 5E with a few OSR and indie game podcasts sprinkled in. I haven't played 3E in like 10 years, but I'd listen to it. Okay, now I'm done.
Okay, fine. First of all, I don't know of anybody, especially me. No, actually, I can do Thaco. I'm still going around. I just did this on YouTube. I corrected a YouTuber on there. It's like, look, descending armor class is not called Thaco.
Yep.
It's called descending armor class.
Yes, exactly.
Secondly, Thaco is easy, and I'm not going to disparage your intelligence or anything like that if you can't use it, but I'm going to question your sanity. So,
I'm not going to insult your intelligence, but I'm going to call you crazy. Oh, I love you, Glenn. I really do.
And, well, I've recently learned also how to convert ascending to descending, so that made my life a little easier.
Right. That's easy.
I've come to terms with ascending. I can play ascending, that's no problem, but all of a sudden I'm stuck in these games where it's still descending armor class, which is funny. But I can go either. I can swing both ways. But anyway, that's enough.
That's another story for another podcast.
Oh, I hope not.
But yeah,
I
mean,
I've met people who are like, Thaco's too hard. That's because they've told you that ever since second edition. I didn't believe it when second edition was a thing.
Well, it's like I've always said, Thaco has been an actual game mechanic since the late 70s, early 80s. No one wants to believe that. You look at the Goldenrod character sheets, it has a segment for Thaco right on the thing.
As a matter of, also, but at the same time, I do miss the grid.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't miss the grid. God,
that's
that's what would give me headaches.
I always told. Well, no, I don't mean that. I mean the one on your character sheet.
Oh yeah. Of course.
I miss the grid on your character sheet because at the end of the day, yes, I know how to do Thaco, and I have no problem doing Thaco, but I'm a lazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, I think we've determined that.
And I'd rather write it down on my sheet.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'd rather, at a glance, the way I've always done it. I start with a Thaco, strength, magic items, specialization, all that. I just keep putting those into the number and lowering the Thaco so that I can just write down one number and I know what number that is, and then I can just go from there. And I actually, as a little bit of assistance to the DM when I'm playing, if I have a Thaco of 10 and I roll a 5, I tell him it hits armor class 5. Rather than him having to do all the math in his head.
Look at the chart on the screen there. Yeah.
Exactly. So my whole thing is, it's just one of these things where, I mean, you have no idea, Glenn. I don't even know if you're a part of these groups on Facebook, but there are, just going on the second edition groups that I'm in. I'm like in 2 of them, I think, or 3 of them, and it comes up every so often because you got all these people who have cut their teeth with 5e and they think that they're veteran game players now. They've only been playing for like 2 or 3 years, 5 at the most, and they think they know better than someone who's been playing for 30.
I know it was the same when 3.5 was out.
Yeah, I know, and exactly, and it's just this whole thing about, oh, this is so much better. Maybe, perhaps. I mean, doing
for
ascending, you. Yeah, for you, ascending armor class is no different than descending armor class. It's just going in the opposite direction. That's all it is.
Numbers have always been the same. And I've always said that. That's why back when ascending armor class came out in the first place, I said, why are people begging for this? Can't they not do simple math?
Exactly.
Simple math.
Okay, yeah, this is grade school math. This is second and third grade math. It is.
Here's the bottom line. Nobody wants to do math. No, that's not the bottom line. This is the bottom line. In gaming, as in life, anything that's counterintuitive will meet with a lot of resistance.
That is true.
And this is counterintuitive.
Yeah. Which is funny because, the year 2000 is the cutoff point because it's like I've always said, they changed the game so radically that, a lot of players who went with basic 1E and 2E, yeah, they dug in their heels because it's like, wait a minute. This is like, you're completely turning everything on its head for the sake of turning it on its head. And then as 3E went through its thing, then 3.5, going to 4E and 5E, all of these, it's just one of these things where they just continually continue to dumb it down to where you have to, where you think less, and it becomes, actually, I shouldn't say that about 3 because it actually required you to think more in some ways. But for 4E
Still
and
turned you into a button masher.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you.
And a pencil pusher.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you had to have a BA in accounting for some 3E games that I've seen.
No, you had to. It seems like every character you had to make out in triplicate or something.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. God only knows I did it.
It was like character sheet was like doing an IRS. Your IRS
doing your taxes.
Doing your taxes every year. That's what I thought of it.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that but this has been and Alex hit upon it. This has sort of been the narrative since, I want to say, right in the middle of 3E's run, when it's doing all of this business and it's doing all of this success. Because with each edition, you're bringing in new players who are new to D&D, but this is what they're coming in on, and all of a sudden you get, I hate to say the word, but you get indoctrinated. And it's sort of like, no, when you go back to 3E, and to a lot of people's credit in those Facebook groups I've been talking about, a lot of people are going from 5E and they're going all the way back to 2E. Some of them even going back to 1E. I'm like, you don't need to go that far. But then again,
that's no problem.
Yeah, exactly. But they're finding that, it's when I saw the game mechanics for 4E, I was like, oh my God, they are appealing directly to MMO players. That's exactly what they're doing. And they're not even bothering to hide it. That's the funny part. Just using game mechanics like healing surges and stuff like that. I'm like, no, if you go down to 0 hit points, you're at least unconscious, if not dead, depending on what rules you take. And if you're going to start using healing surges and all this other stuff, this isn't D&D anymore. This is you're basically playing freaking your flavor of the moment MMO. That's what you're doing. And as long as you think this is the gospel, and you don't keep an open mind, which is something you need to do, especially if you're going to start hopping editions, never mind going backwards, you got to keep an open mind and embrace the mechanics. You don't need to do ascending armor class unless you feel this is something that's best for the game. If you have a bunch of 3E players and you're trying to convince them to go to 2E, and this is a concession you have to make, fine. But at the same time, it's just one of these things that it bothers me. It's always bothered me. It's basic mathematics. Basic mathematics. Ascending, descending doesn't matter. It's basic math. You learn it in second grade.
Well, remember also that Champions nobody likes to play because it's too hard with the math.
It is rather complex mathematically. It is.
I don't think it is.
Well, and that's okay. You're also a veteran who's been playing it for 25 years.
Yeah. Well,
plus,
I'm not old, but but to play devil's advocate here, I believe even during the 1E period, there were people saying, why does the armor class have to go down? Wouldn't it be easier if it went up? Because people have been writing into Dragon about that, and they've been hearing this at conventions. So it's
basic, and they've been doing it since basic, not 1E.
Okay, basic.
Yeah. It's just a thing that D&D did that set it apart from other game systems. It's no particular rhyme or reason to it, but it was challenging to learn initially, and then it was simple math. And after that, it's always been simple math.
I mean,
and it isn't about calculating the Thaco. My character sheets always had the friggin' little grid chart, even when I got my extra character sheets that didn't have the grid on it anymore. I drew in the margin a grid and then made photocopies of that, so it was easy to have. And I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, -1, -2, -3, all the way up to -10. And I would pencil that in as necessary, and everything then is, you either do the math before, you do the math after.
At some point,
I've got a lot of
math. I'm going to roll a die. I'm going to add my bonuses. I'm going to take my penalties. Somebody complained, and they kept complaining through basic. They kept complaining through first. They kept complaining through second. And at third edition, they threw their hands up and said, okay, fine. Everything is additive. If it's a plus, it's good. If it's a minus, it's bad. Period. Embrace it and move forward.
I've gotten over all that. But the one thing that I object to more than that is the fact that over the Oh, what is it? The saves.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You don't like 5 saves. You got 3 saves and 3. I can kind of hang with that. But when they start doing it 4 and 5, where they're going, okay, we're just going to use the stats for stats and saves, that bothers me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tend to agree.
Because one's proactive, one's reactive.
Mm-hmm.
Saves are reactive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they need to be.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're using them in just a mundane way, they have to be reactive. I agree.
Once you start doing that, it just sort of kind of blurs the line to me about what they can do and what they can't. Mm-hmm. But that's another topic. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your email because we're going to have a 4-hour show if I keep talking about that.
Yeah, we could go on and on about this. We could just keep going round and round. It's true.
Yeah, we'll just do it after the show. That's all right. Get a couple of beers and
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we got any more email?
Yeah, we got one more. Well,
Okay,
this one's very easy. You know, basically it's just a 1-sentence question. Okay, this is from Keith Haddad. Haven't seen him email the show in a while, so welcome back, Keith. He says, I was just looking through Legends and Lore. He's talking about the 2nd edition version, and he says, I don't see the stats for Mjolnir. Any ideas? Okay, go back to the 1st edition Legends and Lore / deities and demigods. Yeah, it has stats for Mjolnir. Yeah, I can't even talk. Mjolnir.
Thor hammer. Yes.
Yes, Thor's hammer. Yes. Basically, if I'm remembering correctly, it's a +5 hammer of thunderbolts that strikes dead any giant that it hits. He can throw it for he has a very wide range. I think it's like 300 yards or some ridiculous amount of distance, and it always comes back to his hand. I mean, all you have to do is watch freaking Thor: The Dark World. You know, watch it when he starts fighting those stone giants after a stone giant insulted him.
Hey, the first movie where the frost giants were taking their hits too. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and that's the whole thing. You know, and yeah, I mean, that's just from what I remember. It was a +5 hammer of thunderbolts. No one else can lift it but him. Blah 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 blah. You need his gauntlets and his girdle in order to have the strength to be able to lift it. You know, or wield it. Yeah. So
thank you. Who was that again?
That was Keith.
Thank you, Keith. You know what the funniest question, single question that really didn't have much to do with gaming that I ever got was an email on Radio Grognard. They wanted to know, and when I do my podcast, do I wear my hat?
Well, you always have that hat.
Well, in my videos, I always have the hat on. And it's like, well, I can't fit the hat in under my headset. But if you want to think I'm wearing my hat while you're listening to that, you go right ahead.
Yeah. If that's what you got to do, yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for them. Like, do you record in your underwear? Well, sometimes. Are you here to see it? No.
Nope, and I'm not about to show it to you.
If I'm recording an episode just before I go to bed, yeah, probably. And they're tidy whities too. So anyway,
that's not something I needed to. I don't need that image in my head. Okay.
Well, that's what I don't get. They say when you get older, you're supposed to go to boxers. Why?
We could talk about that later. We're not going to get into that.
Anyway. So thank you, and thank you, Keith. And if you'd like to send us an email, send it to thaco'shammer@gmail.com or the number.
That is 405-806-0555.
Vince Florio need not apply. No, sorry.
Yeah, which reminds me, you and I need to talk, Glenn, after the show. For at least for like 5 minutes. I have an idea and I need to run it by you.
Okay, let's go on to Magic Fingers.
The White Wizard approaches.
There's no such thing as magic.
You always were a better magician. You both know that. But whatever your secret was, you have to agree. Mine is better.
Magic Fingers.
Magic Fingers. Combat spells for clerics. This could be a challenge.
How so?
Well, there are a lot less of them than for magic users. That's why.
Well, yeah, that's true, but and even then, there are some offensive spells, but just not a lot.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it.
And I can think of the two that were my favorite, but
Okay.
we're not going to do. Oh, we're going to do dragon. No, okay.
Yeah.
My two favorites are spiritual hammer and blade barrier.
Blade barrier. Blade barrier is, believe it or not, it's not in combat. And I'm looking at the updated combat sphere in the back of the Pre-Spell Compendium Volume 3.
Blade barrier is in there, right?
No, it is not.
I don't think so. It's probably a wizard spell I miss.
No, it is a cleric spell, but you know what? Hold on. I will check it right now since I've got my little spell book thing.
No, I think they should have changed it to weapon barrier at that point.
I agree. It's either the creation sphere or the guardian sphere, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Guardian.
but it's still an offensive spell.
Well, you
don't attack with a blade barrier. You put one up and people walk into it.
Yes.
That's called the blade barrier attacking.
It's basically just it's more defensive than offensive, even though it does a hellacious amount of damage. It's true.
All right, let's just go with spiritual weapon then.
Yeah, spiritual weapon is in. Yeah, spiritual hammer is in there, but spiritual weapon, yes.
I love the idea of a hammer appearing out of nowhere and just start hitting the bad guy on the head like a Looney Tunes cartoon or something.
Exactly.
Three Stooges thing.
I dub thee cirrhosis of the liver. Whack.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. First level, they have some spells in here that are in the pre-spell compendium. We don't have the time for me to go look at them, but let's start with command. That's easy. That's one of those where that can be also perverted, as some people have done. Let's see, magical stone.
I did not pervert it. I took advantage of it. I exercised its potential.
Yes, you did.
It's amazing what we can do with just one word.
Yes, isn't it? Isn't it though? Okay, then you've got, these are the first level spells. Command, of course, and then magical stone, which basically conjures up 3 magical stones that you can actually use as sling bullets. They can be hurled or slung at an opponent, 30-yard range, and they strike as +1 weapons. What?
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Werewolf can't be hit until less magical. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, aid spell, which is easy. Cure light wounds plus bless spell. Easy. Spiritual hammer / weapon. That's another one.
Whoa. Bless is a combat?
No, it's the aid spell is a combination of the bless spell and cure light wounds. It actually gives you temporary hit points, and it gives you the little bonus boost of a bless spell at the same time.
Okay, we're talking. I was confusing combat spell with offensive spell.
Damaging attack spell.
Right. Yeah, just the spells to be used in combat.
Got it.
They're, like I said, very few truly offensive spells. Like spiritual hammer is one, magical stone is one, flame strike is one, but very few of them when you think about it. Let's see. Of course, the prayer spell, which is your bless spell plus, which can be combined with a bless spell. Actually, when you're up against your big bad, you need as many advantages as you can get. So you cast
which
bless.
Which one is that again?
Prayer, 3rd level.
Prayer.
Okay, Unearthly Choir, which is in the Tome of Magic, if I'm not mistaken. That one, I'd have to look it up real quick, but it basically is more of a cooperative spell between priests of the same faith. It's one of those kind of spells. Let's see.
Hard to believe.
What's that?
Oh, never mind.
What?
I just, we're talking clerics, but does that include the subclasses like druid?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, flame strike. Blue for druid with flame strike. I just like,
yeah, wouldn't you? Isn't that interesting?
Flump burns real stinky, but it tastes like chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. They have the spells in here from the the pre-spell compendium, like Aaron's divinational armor, enhanced turning, which can actually, I know that one. That one you can basically raise your turning level if you need to.
Wow.
Yeah, heroism. I think that operates like a potion of heroism, but I'm not 100% sure. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna look that up while we're talking because I'm very curious about it. I think that's in volume 2. Uh-huh. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it operates exactly like a potion of heroism.
Does it?
Yes, granting temporary levels and life energy to any individual under 10th level. And
Nice.
there is, of course, depending on the level of the recipient, it has that descending scale as to how many levels you get, and so forth and so on. So yeah, you could actually do this with like 0 level individuals and make them 4th level fighters.
0 to hero.
Literally. Exactly. Yeah, nice little spell. So they have that. They also have super heroism, which is a 6th level spell, which of course operates as a potion the same length, the same not same length, the same.
Advanced version.
Exactly. Let's see. They actually have smiting. Believe it or not, you're familiar with that spell, Glenn.
Ooh.
You know.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm gonna look that one up because I'm curious. I think it operates as the same one that you have always been a proponent of.
Pretty
Out
much.
of first edition. There it is. Out of
Basic.
Thank you. Yeah, striking power of a normal or blunt weapon. +1 to hit and damage per 4 levels of the caster to a maximum bonus of +5. Any adjusted roll of 20 or more inflicts triple damage but shatters the weapon. Wow. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
I will use the axe I'm not fond of.
Exactly. But yeah, that's actually a nice little spell. It's nice to see they put it in there.
I'd love
Sounds
to
like
see.
a sneaky way to get rid of a weapon that you need to destroy.
Oh, like a cursed weapon?
Like
yeah,
cursed item, cursed weapon, sure. But
you know
just start swinging, you get a 20, we get rid of it. It breaks it. It says so right there.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Yeah, +1 curse, +1 curse sword of berserking. Yeah, okay. He's just gonna go absolutely crazy. Okay, let's send him that way. And while he's on his way, hey, wait a minute. Before you leave, let me give you a spell. This will sustain you. Yeah.
Now here's the thing. The thing.
What's up?
If the weapon is any kind of intelligent, it probably won't let you do that.
Maybe, maybe not. Depends on the intelligence and if the sword in question has the means to detect or know what kind of spell that is.
Detect danger, at least. I don't know.
Maybe. It's up for debate. Let's see. Flame Strike, which is another one. That's your classic. That's the cleric's fireball, so to speak. Yeah, basically a column of flame comes out of the sky to land on your opponent. Let's see. There's one called Recitation that I want to look at real quick. I'm
right.
not 100% sure about this one. I said I wasn't going to look these up, and here I am looking them up.
That's our Brian.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, once I start, yeah. Let's see. 60-foot radius invokes his deity's blessing upon himself and his allies while causing confusion and weakness amongst his enemies. +2 to attack rolls and saving throws, or +3 bonus if the people are of the same faith. Enemies suffer a -2 penalty to attacks and saves. That is
it's one of those pre-combat stacker spells that you want to take time to prepare instead of respond to the goblin ambush.
Yeah, exactly. Or kobold ambush if you're playing Matt's game. This would be like, yeah, I could see this: bless, prayer, recitation. All that's if you're really going up against heavy opposition. Okay, let's see. Of course, we talked about Word of Recall. There's one that's called Spiritual Wrath that I'm curious about. And go ahead.
On the whole,
On the whole,
priests have more offensive spells than they thought. Or combat spells, I should say.
Yeah, definite combat spells. I mean, they're still more augmentative and in some cases defensive, but yes, they do have
They're still
spells.
the support, but they can support in different ways now, not just picking up a mace and going at it.
Mm-hmm. I agree, 100%.
Yeah. And I'm not just a mace monster or a healing machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. This is another cooperative spell. Let's see, 6 or more priests in a 50-foot radius, and they have to decide the area of effect, but it causes 10d6 damage plus 1d6 per priest casting the spell. So the minimum damage is 16d6. But yeah, this is one of those you need other priests to cast that spell. That's a very interesting one.
Well, that's of no use to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's one of those things. A lot of these spells are so. Some of these spells are just so specific. You need such specific situations to be able to use it. It's like almost why would you? I mean, I could see it if there's like this huge mass combat in the middle of a city, and then the priests of this one particular religion come out and they're like, okay, enough of this, and they just cast that spell, but yeah. Go ahead.
This again is why a lot of these pre-combat preparation wampus spells for clerics are the things you put on your rings. They are the things you put on scrolls. They are the things you use from staves or other items so that you can A, save your spell slots, and B, do something more useful with it, and C, get these things off in a segment instead of all this massive casting time. Okay, we're stacked on the door ready to invade and go after the BBEG. Why aren't we still casting recitation? Because it takes that long?
Exactly.
Well, see, yeah, and I could look at those spells, and a lot of them, just the way they're set up, you can go, that was out of a module. That was out of an adventure. Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah.
That's why it's so wonky. It was specific use.
Yes, very specific use. I tend to agree with you 100%.
That's why I like the thing that they went back to decide, you know what? Let's take a lot of these goofy little utility spells for the cleric and roll them up under the turn capability so that I'm going to go, I got the power of a god, wham, do this. You can get rid of undead things, or if you're not fighting any undead things and haven't seen one in a month and a half, you have something valid and useful you can do 2, 3, 5 times a day on top of your spells.
Yeah, you would
That's
think.
a good thing.
Yeah,
not a bad idea.
Not at all. Okay, moving on is Word of Recall, which is the cleric's sort of
the get out of jail free spell.
Yeah, exactly. And this spell is so ridiculously powerful in some ways.
I know certain players who would always take that spell.
Oh, of course. Yeah, if
okay, time to bug out.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Time to get out of here, and I'm not going to wait for you guys to get your crap together. See ya. And then of course there's Holy Word.
Holy Word.
Yeah.
Yep. So you've got a lot of stuff to choose from, clerics out there. So, don't despair.
No, don't despair. Keep getting those levels.
You're not fighter junior or medics, just a fighter junior or medic. So.
Oh yeah, you've got.
I love versatility.
Yeah, and clerics are extremely versatile.
So you could take these like ritualistic spells and actually put them in a ring or a scroll.
Yeah. I could see them.
That is why.
Go ahead.
The crafting skills for the cleric are the things that some of them get into, specifically so. They can have a ring of spell storing, specifically so. They have a stockpile of scrolls. They have, the archer's got his quiver of arrows, and the cleric has his, belt quiver of ready-made, big scrolls. So all you got to do is say the completion word, and bam, we have this thing in place that's a lot faster than trying to do one of these. Okay, casting time for this is 7 turns, and we need 5 clerics of the same faith.
Exactly.
Well, we're not going to find that in room 12 of, the Temple of Elemental Evil, so we probably need to come prepared with some stuff for this.
Yeah, some pre-mades.
Exactly.
I mean, that's why magic items like the Rod of Resurrection were made. That's exactly why.
I could see in a world, you could actually, God bless Don LaFontaine, but
yeah, may he rest
I could see a Wizards, maybe not Wizards Guild, but a Wizards co-op, where if you take part in this ritual of spell, you are guaranteed a scroll copy of the spell. Or something like that. Or we will put it in your Ring of Spell Storing or something like that. You help us, we help you type of thing.
Yeah, sure.
And, when you're in town, you can, okay, what are they casting today? It's just, okay, fine, I want in on that. And it also cuts the costs down and things like scrolls and spells. And, and also, here's another good, it leads right into an adventure. Okay, we've got this ritual coming up, and we need this certain item for this ritual. If you want to get in on this ritual, that's fine, but can your group go out and get the item?
Yep. Or if they charge like clerics, tied to help cast a spell at the same time, and you'll get a spell. They may even waive that if you go get the item. Or some sort of other exchange. I could see getting like a mid to high level party, let's say like 6th to like 8th level party, and they have to go over here to get the materials to make the items that they're going to imbue with these spells, and so forth and so on. And of course, there's, as we all know with adventurers, nothing ever goes to plan.
No, wouldn't be any fun if it did.
No, exactly. There's always something there to overcome in order to get this certain material, or someone you have to grease the palms of, or negotiate with, or blah blah blah.
Or kill.
All
right, so you're going on a quest to go fight these bands of trolls, tribes of trolls that are infesting this region, and you want to prepare yourself with some regeneration magic, huh? Okay, well, first we're going to need some troll parts. Here's a good place to go get some.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing, and you have to bring it back before it fully regenerates. Here's a little stasis box. Put it in there.
Yeah, it's just another negotiation plot hook thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, okay, we'll give you this. Here's a scroll that we just cast yesterday that you will need on this journey, but that means the next 2 castings we do for scrolls for other people, you got to be here and help.
Okay, I could see that.
Nothing wrong with a co-op for a benefit.
You're on a budget? Okay, well, here's all the scrolls being prepared by our temple apprentices. And, we just put them in a pile here. You can take them. We don't guarantee they work. But we'll get you a discount on the rate.
Hey,
I know the spell says it was, can be cast by a 5th level caster, but we tried this thing where we had 3 2nd level casters get together and work on it as a team, and here's the result. It might work for you.
Oh, gee, this is why you never do favors for a temple of artifice. Because yes, they come up with really wacky ways to figure stuff out, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. And sometimes the consequences are really bad. So, yeah.
So, there's your combat spells. Make them what you can. If you want to talk about it, thacoshammer@gmail.com. Yay.
Yep.
And now we go on to playing favorites.
I always preferred sliding down the snakes to climbing up the ladders.
Survival depends on a quick, decisive...
Here you go, more negative waves. Have a little faith, baby. Have a little faith.
Playing favorites.
Playing favorites. Okay, we're going to do the top 5 dragons.
Okay.
Can I just put a color wheel up on my Photoshop here and just,
It took me all of 5 minutes to figure it out, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I just have trouble saying, okay, this throws what breath again?
Okay. All you gotta do is ask. I can figure it out. I mean, I didn't even go esoteric this time. I went straight meat and potatoes for all 5 of mine. So
Did you?
yeah, I
Okay.
did. Yeah, I did not get fancy this time.
Okay.
I mean, I could have, but nah. I was just like,
Okay.
nope, we're in a hurry. Let's get the show over with.
And I'm relying on you to correct me if I get something wrong on the dragon I'm thinking of.
Okay. All right.
Okay. You want to go ahead and
Yeah,
start?
I'll start.
All right.
Number 5, the green dragon. I like these because these are the manipulators. This community's having trouble with orcs. They seem to be somewhat endless. They've been trying to defend themselves for 6 months, and every time they think they've broken them, they come back. Not only that, with reinforcements, and this community needs to hire your adventuring party to find out exactly what's going on. Where are these orcs coming from? The forest, you say? Aren't there elves in that forest? No. Elves got driven out like 5 years ago by these orcs, apparently. Oh, okay. And then you start going in, and maybe you take out a few war bands. You may have to figure out how to take out a couple of tribes, if you will. And while you're scouting, and you're trying to figure out what these guys are so motivated to take this community out. Why are they so hell bent on it? Oh, wait a minute. Your thief is your invisible silence thief is wandering in and out of this way station, or this camp, and all of a sudden all the orcs gather in the center of the camp, and then you see this huge green dragon come flying in, and the leader of the orcs is basically being browbeaten by this dragon, saying, "What is taking you so damn long to kill these humans?" And then all of a sudden you find out you've got more problems than you thought you had.
Oh yeah.
Because green dragons just are that manipulative. They always have tribes of humanoids and other monsters to do their heavy lifting, and they just come in and take their tribute, and they go back to their lair, and so on and so forth.
They really are appreciative of dragon worshipping lizard men.
Yes, you can see that for sure. Led by a lizard king, but yes, there is a green dragon that is the power behind all of this. And now you have to figure out how to take it out. And God forbid if that green dragon has a family back at their lair, because then now you've got major problems.
Yay!
Yep. It's like, oh, I think we need reinforcements now. Yeah, because we've got major problems now. But yeah, the green dragon, number 5.
Full on.
Well, I appreciate the niceties of the green dragon, and the fact that if your DM is feeling you particularly interested, you can always make a chlorine gas cloud explode with the application of fire.
Yeah, then there's that.
Which really is fun. But let me go for another of your basics, your true blue dragon. Because nothing says fun like lightning.
Yes.
Yes, desert dwellers. Yes, they, pick over the bones of nomad bands. They raid out of the desert night. And if you happen to have a unique feature like a evil wizard's tower that is known as the Iron Tower, and someone starts pissing off the blue dragon and he lights the entire tower up, that can be fun too.
For the dragon, perhaps.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, the area of that line can turn into an area of effect. All he needs to do is have, a battle at the oasis, and people think it's safe in the water. Yeah, right.
No, it's not. Oh, no, it's not. That's when you lose your ability to make a saving throw. You take full damage because you're not thinking. Well, water is a wonderful conductor of electricity.
Oh, it just means more of you need to make saves. That's all.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. I remember there was a campaign I was playing in where, most of the party, not me, but most of the party was standing in about 6 inches of standing water, and they thought they were going up against a red, and no, because the blue dragon was smart enough to actually I think basically he rolled in some iron dust or something and made his scales redder. Although the DM did give perception checks because the color wasn't quite there. But yeah, the party blew all their perception checks, and yes, the dragon breathed in the water, and the party took full damage because they're standing in a conductor. But yes, and the blue dragon, by the way, is my number 3, so I'm taking it off my list. Glenn?
Well, you don't have to take it off your list. You just got to give your own reasons for it.
Full on basically covered it. more or less.
And they mean. They bitter and mean because
they're very, very mean dragons. Yes.
Oh, just BS something.
Go on, Glenn. Okay. You're number 5.
Okay. If I remember correctly, the bronze dragon.
Lawful good, chlorine gas, and fire, if I'm not mistaken. No, sleep gas and fire. Sleep gas and fire.
And one of my if I'm not mistaking this with another dragon, my favorite ability, shape-shifting.
Yes, they are, and they're very benevolent, lawful good and alignment.
Yes, but I've had I remember a party of adventurers in a game long ago in the dark ages of the hobby. Were followed by this brownish red cat.
Mm-hmm.
Did nothing, just followed him around, even into the dungeon.
Yep.
I went down to scratch the cat, and he did the cat thing and purred and stuff. But he says you feel scales under the fur. I go, oh. Got it. Because they're real curious.
Yes, they are.
They're curious about humanity.
Yes, they are.
So, that tavern wench you may be talking up may not be a tavern wench.
Nope.
That
shopkeeper might not be.
That's what I like about them.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they're always doing that, and yeah, that's what I love about them. Same thing for silvers and golds. Same thing.
They're good, but they can also be a loose cannon. They'll always kind of be by your side, but all of a sudden, folks, DMs, I don't encourage this,
but
they can.
Yes, you are.
But they can be a Deus Machina.
Yes, they can. Absolutely.
But I would prefer to use them as, a Deus Ex Machina, but something that won't save the character's butts, but will tip it in their favor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd like to do. Like somebody who's getting rid. You got a big old barbarian who's just taken out all these cultists. You got a cultist assassin behind him. He doesn't know what's happening, and but the dragon sees it and does something like breathe chlorine fire on him and kill him or something.
No, just probably take a good swipe at him with these kitty paws, but then you see the assassin go flying across the room, and it's like, what? And then you look behind you and you see the cat, and he just meows and looks all innocent.
Exactly, and that turns the tide of battle, and that's what I like to use things like that, loose cannons for.
Mm-hmm.
Just to turn the tide of battle, because it's the PCs fight, but at the same time, they could use a little help once in a while.
Yeah, and depending on how the party treated that little cat, if they treated that cat well and was nice to it,
witch, piercer, whatever the hell
it is, exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's what bronze dragons especially, that's what they tend to do, because like you said, they're curious about people. And they have an affinity for, humans and demi-humans, and if they are treated well and are treated decently, whatever guise they're in,
or
it could
if
be
you have
like
their respect.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's think about it this way. If say you're doing like the AD&D version of Aliens, and you run into that little girl, yeah, and you treat her really, really nice, and then you get jumped by all those xenomorphs. Guess what? Guess what? You've got an ally that you didn't know you had.
Well, okay. Shape-shifting aside, I was also thinking of he took care of the assassin while still in dragon form, because
or kitty form.
Dragon form.
Okay.
Say he's hiding deep in a cave where the assassin jumps up there. Oh, there's nobody here. Ha ha ha. He thinks. But there's a dragon there, and he's encountered these people before and watches them and likes them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, let's just take that claw and kill him. Boom.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
that kind of thing.
So,
there's that. That's my number 5.
okay. All right. I will go with my number 4, the Red Dragon. Now, if you just, yeah, of course, because if you just want the rampaging, massively egotistical, psychopathic, everything that I see is mine, and there is nothing strong enough to even challenge me short of the gods personality type, the Red Dragon fits the bill. Because
talking about Vince.
Hey now.
Now.
Let's be nice, even though never mind. Let's just be nice. Let's just be nice. But yes, the rapacious, always flying over various lands and picking off whatever they want for food or for treasure or just to basically kill and destroy because that's what he feels like doing that day. Your Red Dragon is the perfect one. That's always the one that DMs fall back on. And not always, but most of the time.
That's the classic.
Yeah, that's the classic. It's been that way since Basic. Yeah. Because here's the
it's
big.
Also it's one of the colored dragons that actually has an intelligence. They're up there with Wile E. Coyote, super genius, and they will not be prone to be evil stupid.
Yeah, like white dragons. Yeah, white dragons are evil stupid. I agree with you. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, and as far as if your party's like, oh, we're gonna go hunt this dragon and we're gonna kill it. Oh, well, all of our intelligence says it's a black dragon? Really? Okay. Well, let's prepare. Let's get all these things against acid and let's go take care of it. Oh, let's see. First thing that's wrong. This dragon's in the mountains. This isn't right. They usually are in swamps. Let's see. This dragon's living in an abandoned coal mine? What? This is not right. This is not right for a red dragon. I mean, a black dragon. This is really strange. Then you get to the lair, and it's a black dragon, all right. But why is he here? And then, why is there about an inch or two of coal dust that we're standing in? Yeah, same DM, by the way. Yeah, he loved to disguise his dragons as something else. Yeah, so yeah, then the dragon breathes and it's fire instead of acid, and you're also standing in this, dust that also ignites when the dragon puts his flame on it, because now you're standing in a whole bunch of basically Kingsford charcoal. And yeah, your saves are gone again. Guess what? You guys are in trouble, because with the exception of the gold dragon, the red dragon is the one that dishes out the most damage in melee and with its breath weapon. Never mind the spells that it uses. So yeah, red dragon, number 4.
Go on.
I'm going to save that one for a little bit later, because my number 4 is going to be another one of your classic colors. Let's go with the black dragon. Yeah, they're not necessarily as bright, but
thumbing through,
acid is good for everything. It is a great way to destroy items, to destroy the desires and whims of your player characters, and make them make item saves on things that shouldn't need to be saving, because things will go boom when they start failing their saves. They can be sneaky. They can, if you get one high enough level, you can go into their own shape-shifting bits as well, and they can be just as cunning in setting up people to come into their swamps or into their ruins, because they're not just in swamps. They do ruins as well. I mean, there's a reason that, they had a black dragon as a primary NPC in the Dragonlance stuff. Great to read, horrible to play, but still, Onyx is a fun person.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And I mean, I have experience as a DM with this one, because I put a party through Tomb of the Lizard King, and there is a part where the dragon is trying to call the party out from its defensible position, so he can just basically swoop in, breathe once or twice, and basically kill them all. Now, my party was smart enough not to do it, and then later on in the adventure, you actually go into its lair, And there he is, and yeah, that fight went really badly. The paladin was whiffing all over the place. Basically, every time he attacked the dragon, his sword would bounce off its armor, and the dragon breathed on him. And the mage lost a rather important, not important, but a treasured protection item, and a couple of other players lost a couple of magic items as well. They basically got disintegrated by the dragon's acid, which is unfortunate. But yes, black dragons are good too. Glenn?
Frantically thumbing through the dragon section because he took my dragon.
Oh.
No, I don't play that game. I could have just said dragon, black too, and just go on. But I want to extend this program.
Okay.
It's funny. I'm looking through the 1E Monster Man because that's what was handy, and it says I was going to say chromatic dragon, but it only gives one, Tiamat.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that's the goddess of chromatics. Yes.
Why would you put that in the dragon section? That belongs to deities and demigods.
I agree.
Just like they've got the platinum dragon. Bahamut is the for the metallic dragons. They just list here's the boss, and then here's all their minions.
Yep.
Here's the boss, and here's all their minions.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with Gold Dragon.
Okay.
Gold Dragon because I don't know. You're gonna want to get your never-ending story on. That looks like something you could hop on and ride. And also,
you're going with the Japanese Oriental serpent style gold dragon.
Yeah, that's always been my goal.
That's the one because three breath weapons are better than one.
We only have two.
Wait a minute. Fire, chlorine gas.
That's it.
Okay, well, two's better than one anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and, I mean that's my number 2. So yeah.
They also polymorph.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's an even plus. Spell use and wow.
Yep.
As gold dragons are so intelligent, their spells are always of the better sort, and at least half of them actually have regular spell books.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And they are very, very proficient spellcasters. I think in Great Worm Gold Dragon will have 2 spells of 1st to 6th level as a mage, and 2 spells 1st to 5th as a cleric.
And the polymorph. You need that special spell for that adventure, go see the old man in the mountain up there.
Yep. I mean, Castle Amber, my favorite thing. You encounter a very young gold dragon sleeping in the middle of the road with a unicorn. What do you do?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my fun number 4.
Okay.
Number 3, Brian.
Okay, my number 3 was the blue, so I'll move it to full on.
All right. Let's go with another one of the fun ones. Let's get a little bit weird. Let's go with the Shadow Dragon.
Ooh.
Because nothing says fun like the ability to level drain.
Yes.
And to find them in the Underdark.
Yes.
Where other things go bump in the night, and suddenly this one goes growl crunch. And the shadows eat you.
Yes. Yeah, Shadow Dragon is a very, very nasty customer. Without any sort of equivocation about it. They are very, very nasty dragons to deal with. Yes, that breath weapon where you get your levels drained. Thankfully, it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully it's temporary. But yeah, you could really be in some deep poodoo if you're. Sorry, I've been watching Star Wars Marathon all weekend. You could be in some really deep trouble if you run into one of these in the Underdark because they can be. Geez, how can I put it? Finding them is the hard part because they can basically conceal themselves, and then on top of that, all they've got to do just to make things really difficult is to breathe on your party once, and your party starts breaking saves, and they are genius level intelligence. So yes, they are going to attack from ambush using all of their illusion spells, and yes, they do use illusion spells. An ancient shadow dragon can use 4 first, 4 second, 4 third, 2 fourth, 2 fifth, 2 sixth, and that's just wizard spells. So yes, they're and they favor illusion spells. So yes, they can put invisibility up. They can use Dimension Door as a granted power. They can use Mirror Image if whatever party they decide to ambush starts fighting back and actually starts hurting it. So yes,
So when the Drow Warband approaches your party in the Underdark under the peace symbol, saying, "We've got a problem we'd like you to deal with, or we'll kill you."
Yeah, what do you do?
Run the other way.
Yeah, what do you do? Exactly. I mean, yeah, Shadow Dragons are really. I mean, their breath weapon doesn't do much as far as damage goes, but the fact that it drains life energy, yeah, that's bad. That is really, really bad. And if you get drained
and of
to
course,
zero,
you can always find them in the Demi-Shadow Plane.
Oh yeah.
You can, they aren't just necessarily in the Underdark. They can come out into the world, into some very interesting and very dangerous places.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, they'll probably be at the bottom of a cave complex because they don't like being out in the light. But even so, when night falls, look the hell out. Because these guys, yeah, like I said, they are just bad, bad news. There's no other way for me to say it. They're bad news.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Shadow Dragon.
Bad news, Brian.
Was that number 3?
3.
Yeah, that's his number 3.
His number 3.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Now it's on you.
All right. Dragon Turtle. No.
Now, see, now that I've got the Monsters collection up, I could go in a whole bunch of different directions, but no, I'm going to stick with the 5 I have.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I seem to be favoring the good dragons for some reason.
I've noticed that.
Just because, I don't know. That's the way I am.
Well, maybe it's just that you want to balance it out by not always having the dragon be in opposition like both Full On and I are doing. Maybe.
This is true.
I never said that's necessarily an opposition. Maybe he's got a problem with the Drow Warband and he approaches you.
That would be interesting.
Whispers in the dark, anyone?
Yeah. Just don't have a paladin in the party because the paladin will refuse to help, as you know. But yeah, go ahead, Glenn.
How about platinum?
That's Bahamut.
The platinum, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
the platinum.
The platinum dragon. There's only
so
one.
It is. Okay, I was looking for another. I was looking for another multi-headed dragon here for the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to change up then and go with an evil dragon.
Okay.
Did we do white already? I don't remember.
No, we did not.
We have not.
White
we mentioned
dragon.
them in passing, but they're nice.
White dragon because I love that breath weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Trust me, I had a ranger die to that breath weapon. No, it wasn't breath weapon. I'm sorry. That was what took like almost half her hit points to start.
My first game in RC with Matt, the party was almost the thief got away, was almost TPK'd by the breath of a
white dragon.
He got out. We were all frozen.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I have experience with white dragons.
Yep, I have it too. Like I said, that's how I got my ranger killed. We were going
white
up.
White dragons are the dragon that you usually you can get away with having a party encounter multiples of, and not necessarily
feel bad about it.
Or feel bad about it because you can have a couple of them because they're dumb as rocks. Like have a little family unit of dragon mom, dragon dad, and a hatchling.
Yep. Yeah, you could do it. You could certainly do it. I mean, I'm looking at the stats right here. I mean, we went up against a Great Worm White Dragon. They're not that tough. They're just not. Even though, this one had +8, so that's 17 hit dice. But we were all like 7th level adventurers, 7th to 9th, I think. So, yeah, the fight went badly for my ranger because I attacked with a weapon. I critted him. I did triple damage. Then that dragon said, "Oh no, you die right now!" And he basically just clawed and bit me to bit my ranger to death. So
did I caveat my statements about all my dragons are Forgotten Realms dragons? So double the size, 6 breath weapons, and 6 attacks around and hasted.
That is your interpretation. You're taking a 1E mechanic and applying it to 2E where it doesn't need to apply.
There are things 1E got right. Nothing wrong with preserving them for posterity.
Not at all.
Or making them such a challenge that you need to be like 16th or 17th level to go up against them. Okay, but
Brian?
I'm not going to argue any further.
Okay.
But okay.
Number 2, Brian.
Oh, my number 2 was the Gold Dragon. I like it because, well, aside from the story I told, I like them because they can be, the secret benefactor to an adventuring party. They could be the protection. They could be the protection crew for a Dragon's Lair, which is something I'll talk about in the next segment.
Dragon's Lair.
Yes, Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you are a brave knight to rescue the princess from the clutches of an evil dragon. Yes, sorry, I have that speech pretty much memorized.
And reset.
Yeah, reset. Sorry.
Start over.
Yeah, journey on, adventurer. Your quest awaits. Sorry, my local arcade has a Dragon's Lair in it. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yes, the Gold Dragon I like because, like I said, they could be the benefactor. They could be a possible ally at some point, with the adventuring party if the party passes their tests. Yeah, the Gold Dragon, I like them because they could be the power that the party's unknowingly serving. They could be an ally. They could be someone to negotiate with for a magic item or for just for a king or an agency. They can be not exactly an antagonist or enemy, but they could be a rival or something along those lines. It's multifaceted. They're lawful good in alignment, and they are the most powerful dragons out there. If they're not the most, they're certainly top 3. And the DM can use them in all kinds of ways aside from just something for the party to fight. That's what. Okay.
They are the good power equivalent of the red, and the red has all of its smoggy wonder to fall back on.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go for number 2. Let's go into the weird again. And yes, adversaries are fun for a reason.
Yep.
The Fang Dragon.
Oh yeah. I love these. This is probably, just in my opinion, this is one of the best dragon races that were invented, in my opinion. But go ahead, Full On.
I fought my first one in Mythdraenor. I remember back in the day. And pieces and body parts were flying everywhere.
Exactly. Yes, the Fang Dragon. Let me look up the stats real quick while I'm at it, since we're talking about them.
Wow.
Yeah, Baba Wawa. Yeah. Draco Densus Terribilis. Yes. Yeah, they don't have a breath weapon, which is most. But what they do is that they drain hit points with their soul. They call it a soul bite. They drain hit points, and basically the amount of hit points would be the equivalent of a breath weapon, because depending on the age category, it has various levels of terrible. So, yeah, I mean, I could see like your big bad fighter, like, oh, this ain't gonna be so hard, and all of a sudden he gets soul bitten, and all of a sudden this fighter who had like 120 hit points all of a sudden gets reduced down under 20. Yeah, all of a sudden
treating you like a sip straw. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like Sir Boars with a killer rabbit.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, those drained hit points are gained by the dragon.
Boy.
And
yes, the more you fight it, the harder it gets.
Yes, exactly.
Or at least the more you let it hit you.
Yes. Yeah. Avoid that bite at all costs, because, and not only that, you have to kill the dragon within 2 rounds per experience level of the drained victim, and the victim has to ingest or come into contact with the dragon's gore or cranial fluids to get his hit points back. Otherwise, it's permanent. So yes, that's bad news. So let's see. You have to take it down quickly. And then, whoever got soul bitten has to do something rather unpleasant to get his hit points back. Imagine having a fastidious paladin. Like, you
See, that's
basically
where you have the party member who is the master chef who can make a real good, fang dragon sushi fast. Say, here, just it's good eyeball. You're going to enjoy it. It's all good.
I love that idea.
Very delicacy.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Glenn?
Plus,
Oh, go ahead, Glenn. I'm sorry.
Let him. And the rest of. There are no slouches in the world of melee combat either, other than their soul bite. Just brutalizing people with their bodies is, again, what they're good for.
Yep. 2 claws, a bite, and a tail. That's 2d4 twice, 2d8, and 3d6. That's not adding their age modifiers into that. So yes, they are masters of melee combat for sure.
Number 2.
Oh, my number 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Number 2.
Fairy dragon, just for the annoyance factor.
I knew somebody would go there.
I wasn't going to, but someone had to.
Well, I was reading up on it, and it's like, okay, genius level, doesn't attack directly, and a buttload of spells.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
My goodness.
Yep, fairy dragons are... See, that's the funny part, is that when I remember, back when we were first doing first edition, everybody who had a mage wanted a fairy dragon as a familiar.
Pseudo dragon.
And here's the station that
the pseudo dragon. The dumb ones wanted a fairy dragon.
And here's the statement that gets me in trouble.
What's that?
Usually the wife or girlfriend.
Oh, wants to role play the dragon?
Who wants the fairy dragon as a familiar.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What have they got? Prehensile tails, butterfly wings. Yeah, because they're cute. That's why. They don't think about anything else. Let's see. They employ wizard spells. Let's see. Oh, goodness gracious. Man, I'm looking at...
Believe that?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chart where their casting level. It's like, oh my goodness. I mean, it goes all the way up to old category. It goes right along with it, so it's 8th level.
This doesn't start with second. I'm looking at the first edition monster manual. Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, and then of course they have massive amounts of magic resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
use that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a Great Worm Fairy Dragon. He only has 23 or 24 hit points, but he's got 96% magic resistance and casts spells as a 16th level wizard. We're talking he has access to 8th level spells.
And I'm not, this is nothing to sneeze at. This creature ain't nothing to sneeze at.
No, not at all. I mean, they're small.
Unless you're snorting powdered fairy dragon wing.
Yeah,
can you imagine that? Jeez.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go on to number 1.
Okay, number 1. Same as the gold dragon, but more so.
This is what we have our Urukai, doing their drug dealing and smuggling. And,
I like that idea.
The black lotus flowers and crushed fairy dragon wing.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, exactly. Okay, my number 1.
Multiple of that.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez, I can only imagine what fairy dragon dust does, but I don't think I'm going to any more than I already have. Just like I said, with the gold dragons, even more so, the silvers. The silvers are the ones that have, a fetish is too strong a word, but they definitely have a very strong affinity and fondness for humans and demi-humans. I mean, geez.
They're always the ones getting in trouble and causing all the half-dragons, yes.
Causing all, exactly. But, it is what it is. Hey, the heart wants what it wants. That's the way I always said. Hey, if a dragon falls in love with you, what are you supposed to do? But yeah, so
make donkey dragons.
Exactly, dronkies. Yes. There's nothing you can do about it. But I mean, these are the ones. I mean, they're one of my most favorite little adventures out of the deck of encounters. Was it was a test. Basically, your party is journeying through the wilderness. They come to a clearing and they basically see more or less a lynching going on. There's this old man who's basically saying, leave me alone. I haven't done anything wrong. And all of these angry humans around them, throwing rocks and, burn the witch at the stake and all this and all this. And the party, it's basically a huge test of the party's morality. And if the party's like, I can't watch this happen, we got to do something. And they go to rescue the old man. He turns out to be a silver dragon, and all of a sudden you've got a friend. And I even took it one particular. I think I took it one. No, I'm confusing it with something else. There's another encounter where, um, basically you see a medium size, like a juvenile red dragon attacking a small girl. And or not even a small girl, it was a teenage girl. That's right. And if the party comes to her rescue, it turns out that she is uh, a very young silver dragon who falls in love with one of the PCs because they came and rescued her. Yeah, that's another adventure in the deck of encounters. I love doing that stuff. But I mean, they're also the shape change shopkeeper in a town. That's another adventure. Shape change silver dragon. Actually, it's a combination. I forget what he was, but he was
I've seen variations on that before.
There's a whole bunch of those kind of
silver
things.
dragon that was the basis for the Dragon Lance romance with the Knight of the Rose. All those things.
Yep, exactly. And so forth and so on. But yeah, I like just using them as just these really benevolent people who are like, well, let's find there's this adventuring party going through our territory. All right, let's find out what they're about. And if they're of good heart, then we'll let them be. If they're not of good heart, then we're probably going to kill them and take their stuff because they're up to no good. And that's that.
Right.
So yeah, Silver Dragon, that's my number one.
Ere you cross my forest, answer me these questions 3. Murder hobos do you be?
Full on,
Exactly.
What's your number one now?
Well, of course, we've got to go deep, dark, fun, and dead. Dracolich.
Dracoliches, yep. I had a feeling.
I can be any dragon you want. It's just dead.
Yep.
Ish.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
and
what I got.
the fun you get with that.
Then
you get the fun with the whole death dragon worshipping cult out to try and make as many Dracoliches as they can to serve. And the fun you can have.
Yep.
Let me tell you, I read ahead a bit in Barrowmaze Complete, and that's pretty much the denouement of Barrowmaze right there.
Fighting the Dracolich.
Is a Dracolich, yes.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, they are bad news, and they're pissed off because they're Dracoliches, so it's even worse.
Yeah, if you can get one that's voluntarily a Dracolich, he has his own reasons for being bitter at life in general. And then you get the ones that got co-opted into being Dracoliches, who are double pissed for that.
Yep.
And they are just things that hate life and all things living. And
I know. You stop the Dracolich. I said, well, what's this pile of Kingsford charcoal over here? Oh, those were those followers. They didn't last one worship session with him because he was so mad.
I don't doubt that for a minute.
Yeah, they'll probably kill their followers. I figured.
Yeah, well, it's one of those where they think
depends on the ones they have.
Yeah, sometimes, but I think what comes down to is that once they turn into Dracoliches from whatever dragon they were, the cult tries to actually take control of them. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
with varying levels of success.
Yeah, varying level. Exactly.
I saw the beginning of the first D&D movie.
Yeah,
same difference.
Then there is that. But yeah, so those are our top 5s.
If you want more fun with a Dracolich, go take a look at the WoW trailer for the Ice King. That's a Dracolich.
Ah. Okay.
And also the last season of Game of Thrones has a great representation of this is Dracolich turned up to 11 and play.
Yeah. Roll for initiative if you please.
No. He's hasted. He goes first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Now, if you ever want to have more fun with your dragons, get the ones who decided that they're bored with just being dragons, who spent the time and effort to take classes, who've trained, who have levels, and are actual players, not just you run into a dragon fighter or a dragon monk who knows how to ready action.
Oh goodness!
Especially if they can polymorph on top of that, look out. Polymorph into some kind of bad barbarian who happens to have like 5 levels. Mm-hmm. And he's a dragon on top of it. Oh boy.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, Chuck.
Yeah.
Because you're about to have, I would say, a very bad day.
Yeah.
And yes, Dragon Magazine was wonderful for basically finishing the spectrum by putting in orange dragons. The most
valuable thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the most valuable thing from Dragon Magazine was the chart. There they gave you the giant strength equivalent of all dragons. Because the dragon stat blocks all look kind of weak sauce until you remember, oh yeah, he's also plus this to hit and plus this to damage.
Correct.
Because he's this strength on top of those hit dice. And then you realize that fighting dragons are not the cakewalks that everybody thinks that they used to be. Oh, we're going hunting dragons today.
Well, that was one E's dragons. Basically, they were glass cannons. They did a lot of damage, but if you knew what you were doing and you knew how to fight tactically, you could take out most of the older dragons within 2 rounds. As long as you were properly prepared, you could survive it. That's why the dragons got such a
surviving fighting a dragon should always be, bonus. Successfully fighting a dragon is the goal. Surviving it is extra. Like there was one time in band camp, we've discovered we were being stalked by a green dragon. So the party member who had the Pegasus took my dwarf up to about 5,000 feet above the dragon, and I did a diving attack with my axe. And once I had achieved, okay, you fall 200 feet, you're now at terminal velocity, you don't go any faster, you could add your falling damage to your attack damage.
Wow.
And get one shot. Don't miss.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't miss. Exactly.
Look his wing off in flight.
But at the same time,
then I needed a cleric on the ground.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah,
I had left.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, because you're still gonna have to survive that 20d6.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta dwarf wall it.
Okay, I think we're done now.
Are we?
I think so.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know about
Funny,
I can't speak for.
Funny, I didn't say anything about a number 1.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to let you wallow for a while.
He was doing it. It was Full-On's fault. I was just going along with it.
I didn't finish. I just wrapped up the Dracolich and then strength, because everybody needs to remember that they have those too. Bring it.
My number 1, I don't know, we may have talked about this.
Go
the
ahead.
Cloud Dragon, Draco Cumulus Welkin.
Okay. That's an interesting choice. Go ahead.
Because he could take gaseous form. I love it.
Yeah, something that big.
Not only that, but he's those giant wind fans they use in movies. He's breathless.
Yeah, icy blast of air. Yeah, 140 feet long, 30 by 30.
Claw bite, tail lash, and then he hits you. He can only do it 3 times a day, though.
Man, that bite is pretty nasty, though. 3
Isn't
to
it?
36. Yeah,
Isn't
3 to
it?
36. That's pretty significant.
Genius level. And, they're neutral, but that seems like appropriate since they're cloud dragons.
Yeah, they're just above it all. Yeah.
He can do a cloud burst, precipitation.
Yep.
He's got control over weather, folks.
Yep.
Which makes him much more badass than he seems.
Yep. Control weather, then call lightning on top of it.
I assume they fly. I don't see a picture with wings.
Yeah, they're not winged, but yes, they fly.
Are those one of those like
They're one of those
Chinese...
Oriental serpentine types, yeah.
Yeah.
Cloud dragons do the Chinese dragon breed.
Yeah, but man, that would be fun to watch a fight with that. That would be, I mean, you don't bother the cloud dragon, I'm sorry.
No. Not unless you absolutely have to, and whatever you do, don't make it mad.
Yeah, and some dwell in caves which are shrouded by clouds. Most dwell in cloud islands and lair there. In other words, they can hang out with cloud giants.
Yes, they could.
Oh.
They're
that's often associated.
And that's even more trouble.
Depending on the alignment of the cloud giants, yes.
Cloud giant and my buddy who's rooming with me over here, the cloud dragon.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, what do you do?
Exactly. So that's my number one. You guys got anything to say about dragons or anything? ThacosHammer@gmail.com. You know the drill.
If you want to see dragons having fun on screen, you can go watch classics like Dragon Heart, like Dragon Slayer, like, okay, fine, the second Dungeons and Dragons movie, not the first one, it sucked. You can watch, Game of Thrones, lots of good dragons. You can watch classics like
what's the name
Lord
of that?
of the Ring, The Hobbit.
What's the name of that one?
The Desolation of Smaug.
What's the name of that one with Matthew McConaughey? The one where they're fighting dragons the whole time?
Aragon?
Yeah, they take a tank after one. Yes, I remember. That was always fun.
God, now I gotta look it up.
I don't know. The first D&D movie had that wonderful shot of David Arneson and the other wizards blasting dragons. Just a row of wizards just blasting dragons. It has its good moments, but mostly to laugh at. I'm still waiting for Riff Tracks to do the first D&D movie. Anyway, so let us go on to DM Brainstorm.
Now you tell me what you know.
Only the infinity of the depths of a man's mind can really tell the story.
What are you, a wizard, a genius?
DM Brainstorm.
DM Brainstorm. A good dragon's lair as opposed to a yucky one.
Yeah.
Opposed to an evil one.
Yeah, because we've done the evil ones to death. We all have. Oh, Reign of Fire. That's the game. That's the one.
Can't we do a chaotic neutral dragon's lair? It goes all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, up is down, left is right. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay. All right, let's start with the dragon type, first of all.
I believe we're thinking coppers.
Coppers?
Bronze.
Okay. All right.
Partners. Bronze and copper. Storekeepers. Together.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I like that.
Great.
Okay.
Hey, I got an idea.
They're always gambling with each other, taking bets.
I got this idea. The
jokester comes up with the bets, and the brass is curious to see how it works out.
Right. Okay.
I got an idea. At least one. This is a town surrounded by mountain range. Okay.
Okay.
Not surrounded, but it's against a mountain range.
Okay.
And one of them, since they both polymorph, one of them has his shop against one of the mountains, like at the foot of one of the mountains.
Okay.
But it's a facade because it can actually go through the shop and get into his lair.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense. It's like this really, really well hidden, dwarven crafted secret door that, it's really, really hard to. A 1 in 6 chance turns into like 1 in 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you get in the lairs. Oh, what's that pile of dead bodies over there? Oh, that's the dwarves that made this. I had to kill them to keep the secret.
Well, if they were good dragons, he can't.
No,
they're
they
not going to do that.
Yes, necessarily.
They wouldn't do
indentured Durgar.
Well, okay, that's different.
Or they could always geas them. So.
Yeah,
And remember, I don't care if it's a good dragon. I don't care if he's lawful good.
Okay.
Their opinion of you as a life form is, I'm a dragon. You're not. You're crunchy and good with ketchup.
Yeah, but it's just a little more. It's a little more benevolent with good dragons. They're not quite as in your face about it. Let's put it that way. You know, that's the way I look at it.
He's got a frame picture painting a Tiamat on the wall. It says, "Our founder."
And she's her heads are posed provocatively. Yes. Okay. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Anyway. So we have this secret lair.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, very well hidden, trap laden. You know, but it's one of those. But it's like at the very bottom of the store, in like underneath, like in like this one particular storage room, and you have to do 6 or 7 things in sequence just to bypass the traps, never mind finding the actual door.
And the traps aren't deadly. They're just to slow you down, to sell you down, scare you off, or humiliate you.
Yeah, because that's what copper dragons would do. Yes,
mainly scare you off.
Okay.
So container and capture traps.
Yeah. Like I said, disabling. Nothing fatal. Very humiliating. It's like it's sort of like the a lot of the stores these days. It's like they take pictures of you if you're trying to shoplift something, you get caught. Rather than them calling the cops, they just basically put this picture up saying, "Yeah, I tried to steal this," something like that.
Or something like a giant maul that comes down and hits you if you trigger the trap, but it's aimed low so it kneecaps you.
Ooh, yeah, that would do it. Yeah.
He'll live.
Yeah, he'll live. Okay, so now what is this store about? Is this about selling, trading?
Sex toys? No.
Well, that's where I got the humiliation thing from. But anyway,
he has a section in the store.
Yeah, something like that.
Curtained off, yes.
They're curiosities sellers. They're knickknacks, curiosities. You don't want to call it a magic shop because that's too in your face. But they are the kind of things you'd go to find, Mogwai, that kind of curiosity shop.
Yeah, that would be the brass dragon's side, the copper dragon side of the shop. That's for sure.
Pawn shop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pawn shop.
And the guy spends most of his day polymorphed into that guy from Pawn Stars.
What, the old man?
No, the other one.
Oh, Rick.
Let's see. I'll give you $10-12 for that gold ring, the most.
Yeah.
Oh, screw that. Danny DeVito from Taxi.
Danny DeVito.
Behind the cage.
Danny DeVito, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so let's see. So maybe this would be, I won't say multi-level. I don't want to put it that way, but there are various.
Oh, go on.
I was just saying there are various functions depending on how in you are with the proprietors. Let's say, if you do the proprietors a couple of favors, like, I heard that there was this, there's this.
I can show you the good part of the store.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Then,
I would ask you to get things for the good part of the store.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Procurement. You do some procurement missions for them, and it's like, yeah, we've got some stuff down here that, and of course, all of this stuff are the castaways from their lair. It's all like, +1 stored. I don't care about that. Here's I got a
you need
plus.
To get rid of a cursed weapon? Well, you can bring it to our shop. We'll see if we'll take it off your hands.
I should have used this guy.
Got some things, maybe.
I should have used this guy in my game I played in New Mexico with the grandkids because they were financed by a pawnbroker who heard about this big black pearl over in a place called the Isle of Dread. And he financed them to go over there. This could have been a dragon like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because
and don't tell me they don't finance like groups to go out and find stuff.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, it's like basically I could see the
Well,
terms
like I
of
said,
what.
you've got the one who's curious about humanoid humanity and general demi-humanness, and the other one who's a jokester who's always going to set up annoying quests to impossible places, see if they can get anything. They're bookkeeping on the odds of people returning with or without the item, or with or without the party.
Yep, as soon as they
and
leave.
Stuff like that. So
they're like
passing coins. But you come back with a delivery, and it's like they're passing coins between each other.
Yeah, one holds out his hand to the other one. The other one gives him like a little small sack with this disgusted look on his face. Yeah.
Here's another one. They both own the store, and they're both like an odd couple dragon. One polymorphs into this one type of human to deal with the humans, and the other one sees that and polymorphs into his twin. So you never know if they're going to get a legitimate quest or a bogus quest, or if you're going to get a legitimate item, or he's going to sell you this other screwy item. To see what they do.
Yeah.
They're like twins.
Jeez, that would be messed up. But it would be complete. It would just be a complete mind screw for the party because they just don't know who and what they're dealing with.
Exactly.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay, now the lair itself.
Okay, now I see the shop. Like Falon said, the whole thing is set into a mountain, but the shop itself is more built outwards because like I said, you have to go all the way down to the. I could see this being like a 5-level storage area because they've been at this for so long. Just for argument's sake, let's put these guys at like venerable age or something like that because they've been at this for centuries. So I could see like the building itself is at the storage areas in the mountain, but and with each level going down into the storage area, it's like more potent items and more potent traps to dissuade anyone who's trying to steal from them. And of course,
the storefront is still the storefront.
Yes, exactly.
More in the course of it's a courtyard compound.
Okay.
So think of your standard box courtyard.
Okay.
With a gate. That's your entry, and then you've got your storefront. Projection into the middle, and then you've got your west wing, your west wing and your east wing.
Okay.
That goes around to form your two big arms, and there can be maybe 2 stories and a basement each.
Okay.
And they direct you and steer you into the piece of the store. Like you come in shopping, you get steered this way. You come in looking to sell, you get steered this way.
Okay.
You come in looking for questions answered and legend lores, you get steered this way.
Okay. That works. I like that idea.
You know what I'm thinking of?
What's that?
TV show, Warehouse 13.
Oh, jeez.
That big.
And they're part of wanting to get things off of the open market that shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're also wanting to mess with things.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's always fun too.
Yeah, because that's part of their curiosity when it comes to items. It's not something they would keep in each of their respective lairs, per se, but it's certainly something to experiment with and to find out what this thing is, whatever it might be. And then, of course, if they run into something that's like, oh, if this gets out into the world might end. It could be like a portable, like a gate to the abyss in in a locket. And this is beautiful, innocent looking locket, and right. Once they find out what it is, like, ooh, let's just take this out of circulation because we just don't want the blood war to come to the prime material plane and destroy this world, because that's what will end up happening as we've discussed in previous brainstorms. So if they find such an item, or let's say the party finds such an item and they can't quite find out, determine what it is, and they bring it to these guys, and this is like the one time whenever like a really bad magic item is presented to them, this is the one time the jokester dragon turns serious. The only time. The other time he's always like, yeah, whatever, laughing it off. He's like just that. He's sort of like Rodney Dangerfield near the end of his life. He just doesn't give 2 craps. everything's for his amusement or for his pleasure, and he doesn't care about anything else. So, but if such a serious item is brought to them, it's like, okay, we will give you, for this, we will give you 2 items out of level 3, let's say.
They do more, instead of outright buy for coin or sell for coin, they're very much into barter and trade.
Yes, barter and trade.
Even, but barter and trade.
Yes. And it can be possibly negotiated from there, and that's a clue to the party as to how serious they're taking it. Number one, that the jokester dragon is not joking around, and he's almost as deadly serious as his partner. Number two, that they're willing to give you 1 or 2 items out of their moderate storage area, let's say. Like say something no stronger than like a +3. Whether it be a weapon or an armor or something along those lines, as far as like wands or staves or something like that. They're not going to trade it for a staff of the Magi, of course. That's a level 5 item. And actually that would be an item in their lairs, as a matter of fact. So,
and if you're really pissed off the brass, he'll trade you a deck.
Ooh.
Just because he knows it'll come back.
Yeah.
Eventually.
And
he can trade it again.
Yeah, eventually.
He's got an anchored deck of many things that when it finally goes away, after use, it always comes back to his vault.
Yeah, because he loves watching to see just how greedy and or stupid humans can be. Because when it comes to decks of many things, as we all know, there are those players that want to push it one more draw. They get 2 beneficial draws out of the deck, and they just want to keep going. And actually, I would say on the contingency that the death card is drawn and the PC in question loses, of course they get killed permanently. That's when the deck reverts back to the dragon, because he's got a secret little pact with, I won't say
that they die.
Yeah, and he's got a secret little pact. It's just something to him. It's the ultimate joke, because humans are stupid enough to risk their lives and their very souls and their very existences for material gain, especially adventurers. So he's like, if these adventurers are stupid enough to keep doing this to the point where they will lose their souls, they will lose everything they have, they will get teleported onto another plane of existence because they just can't stop. Once the death card is drawn, it's like now they're in a fight for their very existence, and if they lose, they die and they're gone forever. Okay. And he's perverse enough to get.
You said he's a joke type person.
Yeah,
so he believes like the Joker. Life is a joke and death is the punchline.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's chaotic neutral instead of chaotic good. Because he's this whole thing is sort of bent him a little bit. And so he's a lot more perverse in his joking. It's just that he doesn't let that. That's his little private joke with the world, so to speak. If his partner found out about it, there'd be problems, big problems, because his partner is a bronze dragon. He's lawful good. So if he found out about that, he would have major issues with his partner. But until then, it's like he's getting one over on his partner. He's getting one over on the greed of humans, adventurers in particular. And even though it's a really, really nasty joke, it's like this is what gets his jollies, so to speak. What really gets his jollies. But it's a really dark side of him that he doesn't present to the outside world. It's just something for him and him alone.
Right.
Wow.
I would not be adverse to having people work in their quote-unquote warehouse, which is their lair.
Mm-hmm.
And having them send them on quests, and just like I said, what you were just saying about, let's see how much trouble they can get into.
Mm-hmm.
But and the other one saying, no, we got to make some money.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sell them on a legitimate quest this time. Instead of a wild goose chase.
Yep.
You know, it's not all Rocket Raccoon saying, I need this guy's leg.
Oh, man. Yeah, I did see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 recently, too. God, that movie is hilarious. I saw it first when we...
Did you see...
What?
Did you see Infinity War?
No, I have not yet.
An Endgame.
No, I have not yet. I don't have the money. I'm broke. I am broker than broke.
Here's an exchange. Rocket and the Winter Soldier. Rocket, how much you want for that arm? He said, not for sale. And they keep blasting away baggers. I'm getting that arm.
Yeah, because Rocket's like that. Rocket's chaotic neutral with good tendencies.
And raccoons tend to collect shiny things.
Yes, they do. Exactly.
Anyway.
Oh, God, I loved how just angsty and prickish the Groot was.
Yes.
I am Groot. No, they weren't looking at you wrong. Oh, God, I died laughing when I saw that. It was so funny. Anyway. Yes, getting back to this. Okay. So, yes, they have procurement missions. They, unfortunately, sometimes the Brass Dragon partner, the Brass Dragon partner sometimes is like, you know what, I'm really gonna screw with these guys. But he only does it when the party is being difficult, let's say. You know, if it's like the Brass Dragon both of them like to drive a good bargain, but if the party keeps on adding on,
they're greedy. Of course, they drive good bargain.
Well, yeah, of course. But at the same time, it's like if the party is trying to be as greedy as they are, you know, that's when the jokester starts saying, well, you know what, I'm going to get these guys.
Well, you know what's funny is, and that really tends to, I'm not saying that you should do this as a DM, because it would drive me crazy to do it, because he could probably work out some very intricate things to get them.
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Have them like actually succeed, but at, you know, at
great
the same
cost.
time, well, not great loss, but humiliation, and basically taking them down a notch.
Exactly. That's what I was going for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to send them into death traps per se. He's not that much of a prick. But if he's like, well, these guys are just being extra. You know, they don't need to go this late, and we're giving them a pretty fair deal, and they're trying to get more out of us. Well, all right, I got something for them. And that's when, it sends them into these, you know, I could see sending them into a swamp and having them deal with quicksand and, you know, just a lot of stuff that just makes the job 20 times harder than it would normally be. You know, and even when they get whatever item or whatever piece of what they want. Yeah.
Okay, we got personalities. What about layout?
Okay, I'll go with full-ons.
We were talking about multi-levels here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean.
Okay, I can hang with that.
Okay.
Would they have minions? Would they have people he worked for? Maybe some goblins or something to work for him.
Brownies.
Brownies would be good. Definitely brownies. Brownies. A couple of fae. You know,
they might have a couple of, you know,
sprites.
They might keep probably keep a good. They're probably very. I'm thinking Shakespeare here. The orphan gang.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they happen to also be the thief guild, good bent, but for the orphans.
Right,
So they've got street minions and urchins that they keep around the store and work with and for them.
So it's a combination of the Lost Boys and the Baker Street Irregulars.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's how they find out the word on the street too. Is they got these kids with streetwise going through the town, you know, and they report back.
Okay.
Almost like Dragon Fagin.
Fagin, yeah, Dragon Fagin. That's what I'm thinking of.
Well,
they're Dragon Fagin.
A little more benevolent, let's say.
Yeah.
More or less.
Because Fagin was from what I remember from Oliver Twist, he was not a good guy at all. No. I'm just saying they treat them basically they treat them well, give them food, give them clothes, give them shelter, give them a little a couple of coppers or a couple of silvers to go have some fun.
It was it was a yin yang thing with him, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the thing
there was sympathy for him, but at the same time,
yeah, but he wasn't
preying on society.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's
anyway,
what I'm saying.
So I'm trying to rush this along a bit. So
yeah, I noticed.
We've got 2 dragons. Mm-hmm. One's a troublemaker. The other one's is good but wants to make money. We've got adventurers they set out every once in a while. We have multi-level dungeon. We have lair. We have minions. Mm-hmm. What else can we throw at this thing?
Okay, who wants to take it over?
The Thieves Guild, of course.
They're nowhere near strong enough.
The Cut Your Throat Thieves Guild and Assassins Guild have had it in for the Fagin and his urchins for decades.
Okay.
For the Fagin brothers.
Mm-hmm. And anytime they've tried to strike out at the kids, there's massive retribution.
Oh yeah, they know they're not. They know that, and do they know they're dragons or not?
No, they've hidden. The dragons have been doing this literally for centuries, so they know how to hide themselves. All the guilds that have come along in this area, who have tried to rob them or tried to take over, anytime or even just tried to lash out at their kids, at their kids. There's been really, really punitive retribution to the point where several guilds have been utterly destroyed. They're not quite sure how it happened, but it happened. But it's one of those. They covet what they have. They're just trying to figure out a way to.
They probably have centuries worth of favors owed.
Mm-hmm. In government.
In government and other colors of dragons.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's mostly good or neutral dragons. I could see, I could see like a family of Reds who are plotting to try to take it over.
Right.
Because they actually know on site what these 2 proprietors are. A dragon recognizes one.
Some greens that they have a running feud with that they keep sending adventurers to go rob these greens. The greens have ambition and are cunning, and they think it's a battle of wits and a challenge.
Okay, yeah, greens work. Actually, yeah, greens work a little better.
So you got other dragons. You have a Thieves Guild, Assassins Guild. Even the Beggars Guild might get into the act. Just as they were tasked by the Thieves Guild to try and find out what's their secret.
Yeah.
And they can't because,
they
like
can't.
I said, this is not the dragons. This is not their first rodeo.
Not even close.
And so they know how to keep their secrets well.
Yes. Yeah, they have mundane and magical ways of doing so, and they've been at this for so long that
I hear an adventure hook calling.
Okay.
Thieves say we have a thief in the party, and I'm not saying it's an all evil campaign or an all evil adventure, but you do have a thief in the party that owes the Thief Guild, and him and his party says, if you want to keep alive, you're going to find out what. Get a slowdown on these guys.
Right. Yeah, I could see.
Okay. They do their thing. They have their encounters, and then they find out what they're all about, and then it's going to be the dragons and the party versus the Thieves Guild and Assassins Guild.
Yep.
This guy is not going to stay in their good graces, and they need to go down. And all of a sudden, you've got this Machiavellian battle going on.
Yep.
With the player.
And in the event that the Thieves Guild or the Assassins, when the Thieves Guild or Assassins Guild finds out the truth of the matter, they know they aren't equipped to deal with that. They bring in the Cult of the Dragon.
Or the Green.
And serve up a pair of dragons on a platter for them as an object for them to now deal with and take off their hands.
Yeah, we got a couple of future Dracoliches here we want you to deal with.
Yeah. So this is where the party comes in, is that this is all starting to come to a head, and now basically they get a call from an agent up from the owners, and they're like, we need you to help us with this, and if you help us with this, you get this, and then the negotiations start anew. And by this time, the party should know not to push it too far, and whatever negotiations they get, are a good enough motivation to help them defend against the assassins. And from that, either that or they become a strike team.
So you've got a shadow war starting here with the PCs smack dab in the middle.
Pretty much.
And, a little fistful of dollars action going
there. And perhaps the only way to stop this is to take out the Guildmaster of the Assassins, who is the mastermind. And hopefully they didn't call in that family of green dragons who's been feuding with these proprietors for decades, if not centuries.
Who did you think they partnered with?
No, I'm saying I'm thinking if the Assassin's Guild finds out exactly what's going on here, and if, depending on how much good information they get, if they get the information that there's this blood feud, or not blood feud, but there's this feud against the proprietors from this family of evil dragons who live in this forest adjacent to the mountain, then all of a sudden they can try to negotiate. I'm not going to say it's going to work, but if the green dragons being what they are, they're like, oh, good, we've got cannon fodder here, and halfway decent cannon fodder.
We've got potential for double crosses and backs. This is becoming like Pirates of the Caribbean movie franchise. Huge.
Yeah, you can go as big as you want.
There's going to have to be casualties to make it worth its while, and you know what? You can call the adventure Last Dragon Standing.
There you go.
There we go. I think that's a good place to start.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Last Dragon Standing.
There you go, guys. If you guys got anything to say about this, thacoshammer@gmail.com, or we have a number.
405-806-0555.
All right, and time to close the Splat book.
Yes, it is.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's all about dragons and other tidbits and clerics and stuff. And say goodbye, Brian.
And until next time, just remember, when you're negotiating and you are not in a position to push it too far, don't, because you could wind up in a really bad situation later.
Go on.
Well, when you're dealing with dragons, remember you're not the top of the food chain, you're not the middle of the food chain, you're not the bottom of the food chain, you're a side dish and a garnish. So anger them not.
Oh, this is Dion Glenn saying beware of red dragon farts, and we will see you next time when the hammer comes down on Thaco's Hammer. Bye-bye.
Talk about stinking cloud.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, fire on one end, stinking cloud on the other. How nice. Thaco's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on Thaco's Hammer.